I'm going to give you a simple framework that you can use every time you present an idea or pitch to a peer group, a leader, or a ministry partner. It's called PITCH. It's an acronym. P-I-T-C-H. Easy to use, easier to remember. P stands for purpose, because we want to clarify the purpose of your idea before we get anywhere close to a proposal stage. Most creatives start with what they want to do, but leaders, they want to hear why it matters. If you lead with the idea itself, you've likely already lost your audience. You have buried the lead. In earlier lessons, we've talked about stewardship and responsibility when it comes to creativity. And this is where it starts to show up. As you organize your pitch, ask yourself these 4 questions. Number 1, what ministry outcome does this idea serve? Number 2, how does this tie in to our organizational mission or vision? Number 3, what problem is ultimately being solved? And number 4, what pain will this idea reduce? These questions will help you refine and clarify your purpose. Here's an opening line that I want you to practice. This idea exists to help us insert your mission outcome by solving insert your specific problem. I want you to avoid starting any sort of pitch that you have with your leadership with, oh, I have an idea, or I think it could be really cool if. Listen, leaders are far more concerned about problem solving aligned with missional impact than they are about new ideas and cool new insights. Let's put purpose at the start of your proposal. Next, we need to make sure that the issue or problem is very clearly defined and recognized by both you and the audience that you are presenting to. Clarity is kindness, and leaders cannot approve a vibe as much as they can approve a clear solution to an obvious problem that they see too. Your job is to frame the issue clearly before you present a solution. And we got to keep it tight. Ask this. Ask what's happening right now, or what's breaking or changing in our organization. Then, here is a decision that you suggest and what you recommend. This shouldn't take more than 60 seconds to distill in your pitch. Because if you can't explain your issue clearly, then your idea isn't ready for showtime. Donald Miller always says, if you confuse, you lose. People won't spend that much time trying to interpret what you're saying in a pitch. It just takes too many mental calories and they're going to start to check out. So make sure that your issue is well presented, that it's the bedrock on which your idea solves or rests. This next step is probably the most important step. You need to test it before you tell it. Strong ideas aren't afraid of resistance. Weak ideas often try to avoid them. Be confident that your solution has been through the battles, as they would say, by pitching this to a few trusted individuals first. Find someone who's good at poking holes at ideas, finding your shortcomings, and helping you identify the weak parts of an idea so that it eventually becomes stronger when you go to your final audience. I want you to invite questions, invite tensions, invite the antagonist into the story. Here is a simple way to do this with a peer group or a naysayer. Just ask, hey, I want you to assume this fails. Why? That's it. You could also invite someone else to do a post-mortem debrief with you before you even pitch your idea. I call this a pre-mortem, right? So imagine what's not going to work well and begin to paint a picture of the aftermath of rolling this solution out. If your idea can't survive honest critique and modification, then leadership won't trust it. This aligns with something we've talked about earlier, psychological safety. Because testing an idea early in the process will protect the integrity of your pitches in the future. It builds trust. Now, you may not want to actually put the T section in your pitch to leadership, but this midway point is a great way to empower you so that you know that the solution you're about to present is reliable and valuable. Now, in this state, we're going to clarify the outcome. And in doing so, you need to make sure that you clarify 3 C's for your leaders: cost, capacity, and constraints. It's my experience that this is where most pitches fall apart. A solution may be brought to the table, but the person pitching the idea can't clearly articulate all the costs or the team's capacity to handle this. Or even worse, They bring an idea that I can tell they didn't do all the cost calculations themselves. I start seeing past, and now I immediately start wondering, what other items or details did they not consider? So be ready to answer these 3 questions clearly. What is this going to cost in total? Who is going to own this, and do they have that capacity? And 3, what are the risks or constraints that we may face as we roll this out? Let me remind you, cost is so much more than just money in a church team. It's volunteer hours, it's staff attention, it's opportunity cost to prioritize something else. Listen, a leader is going to always internally ask themselves during your pitch, what is this idea going to break if we say yes to this? Your pitch needs to answer these things before they ask the questions. And that is clarity and kindness in a good pitch. When your leaders feel that you can clearly understand the full weight of the decision that you're suggesting, you will be amazed how quickly their trust increases and your idea may get deployed. Lastly, H is for highlight. This is how you close. Highlight the outcome. You've got to help your leader see the ROI, return on investment, or the impact or the growth and engagement that likely will come as we move forward with this pitch or this idea. And listen, I know that it may be tempting, but do not end your presentation with, so, what'd you think? It is going to break down all the trust, all the confidence that you've been building through this entire presentation. Instead, I want you to highlight the win. Here's a close that I want you to begin to practice as you work through pitches. You're going to say just this. When this works, the win is, you're going to insert a specific outcome within, and you're going to insert your specific timeline. Then immediately follow that up with a safe, small, actionable step that they can approve or deny. For example, the win is a clear Sunday transition with less volunteer confusion within the next 4 weeks. I'm recommending a 2-week pilot, and then I'll report back with the results. This does 2 things. It keeps vision and decision front and center, and it makes it easier for a leader or ministry partner to say yes by lowering the risk that they may feel. You're not asking for a shift in organizational structure or overhauling the budget to approve your idea. You're asking for a simple step. So that's it. Pitch, purpose, issue, test, clarify, highlight. Once effectively used, you will have far more success clearly laying out a vision and honoring your great ideas. In our last 30 seconds or so here, I want to run through a framework end to end so that you see it. Purpose. The idea exists to reduce weekend confusion and volunteer burnout. Issue. As we've grown, transitions rely on verbal exchange of knowledge, and it's breaking down the consistencies between our Sundays. Test. Hey, I've pressure tested this with peers and different teams to identify all the main risks. Cost, or clarify. This requires no new budget or prep time. It just needs one owner in a volunteer lead role. Highlight. If this works, we'll have a more consistent experience with our volunteer times within 4 weeks. I recommend a 2-week trial, and I'll bring back the results. Sound familiar? That's it. Clear, responsible, easy to say yes to.